What's up, guys? Give me a sec so I can share my screen. I always forget how to do this. All right, sweet. Y'all should all be able to see the screen I have up. So y'all see the notes over here on the left and the field template over here on the right. All right, how's it going? Everybody good? Yeah. I know y'all have all your microphones off, so I'm not gonna be able to hear your response. But we I saw some of the youth games this weekend. So I was able to see some of you guys in person and always just gives me some more stuff to go over and help you guys with. Next week's meeting, I'm going to start before we even get into it. Um, I put the quiz that I talked about last week, I put that in the group me, the youth group me and the high school group me. Y'all both have it. Um, 8 questions. Fill that out. Get it to me before next Monday, and I'm gonna go over them. And next Monday we're gonna go over it, and I'm gonna walk you guys through the questions and explain some of the things because I've had a few people already send them in, and I see some places you are missing. And I also want to reiterate that the first question, number one, it asks you to label the positions on the field, but it's not like catcher, pitcher, first base, second. Like I know you guys know the positions. It's the position number.
No.
You have 9 positions. Label the positions by number. All right. Um, so next week's meeting will be over that. We'll kind of just go over that and then yeah, we'll kind of see where you guys are at. So jumping into tonight, over here on the left in my notes, you guys see I have
Seven,
our
eight.
wins and our losses here. So this is going to be the first basically 2 weeks of the organization playing. So this is all of our games we've played so far between all of our teams. And through 2 weeks between youth and high school, we're 7-7. So we've won 7 games and we've lost 7 games. So I want to kind of show you guys why I'm putting the emphasis on hitting and us being a good offensive team this year from the top down, from the 9-year-olds all the way up to the oldest high school team. If we hit, we're going to have a lot of success. I want you guys to look here in this middle column where my mouse is. Y'all see we had 11 hits, 10 hits, 9 hits, 5 hits, 5 hits, 7 hits, and 8 hits. All right. Every single game that we had more than basically 7 hits, we guaranteed that we were going to win. 7 hits, 8 hits, 9 hits, 10 hits, and 11 hits. We scored 22, 10, 10, 12, and 10 if we had more than 7 hits. When we had less than 4 hits, 4 hits, 0 hits, 2 hits, 3 hits, 2 hits. On our losses, y'all see we didn't score very many runs, and it led to us losing. We also, if we come over here to the outside column, um, how do I mute everybody? Where's that at? I hear somebody over here talking on my. There you go. Sorry about that. That was driving me nuts. Um, it's not. Dang, I just messed this up. So when we come over here to the outside corner, this last group right here, that's how many walks we had as a pitching staff. So us on defense. Y'all see here during our wins, we had 2 walks, 2 walks, 4 walks, 1 walk, 4 walk, 2 walks, 2 walks. And in our losses, what happened? We had a whole bunch of walks. 12 walks, gave up 4 runs. 2 walks, gave up 5 runs. We only had 3 hits, but we made 4 errors. So we gave up 2 free bases and then made 4 errors basically to hurt ourselves on top of the free bases we gave up. Then we gave up 6 walks, 5 walks, 8 walks, 12 walks, and 6 walks. So you guys see the constant theme that if we can hit and pitch it really well, our defense doesn't matter. It does matter, but it's not going to be the most important thing. We got 7 hits. We made 4 errors. We only walked 2 players. So same over here, 4 errors, two walks. But the difference is we got 7 hits versus 3 hits. 7 hits scored us 5 more runs than when we had 3 hits. Um, Same thing with the 2 errors. We had 4 walks, 2 errors. We had the same amount of free bases as this one, right? 6 free bases. And let's see, that's 4 and 2. Is there one comparable over here? We could go 6 and we'll go with this one. Basically, 6 free walks, no errors. We had 5 hits, 2 runs. Here, we had 9 hits on our 2 errors and 4 walks. 9 hits led to 10 runs. So I'm saying that because we want to continue the offensive focus that we have had, that we've talked about this first 2 weeks. So the things that you guys have learned through the pillars of offense, the 5 points that we had, and then last week going over our approach of what kind of approach we're going to have at the plate. If we can continue to work on those things and make them uh, our number one priority in the game, put it that way, that we're going to be a tough out at the plate and a really good offensive team. When we do that, we're going to win. The numbers show you. If we don't hit, then that means that our defense and our pitching has to be really good or it has to be perfect. So that's kind of my offensive spiel for the night. Okay. I thought for the games that I saw, I thought you guys looked pretty good. It's obviously the first week out of the gate, so we got to keep working. It's going to be a long fall, but just keep this in mind. Our success is going to come from us swinging the bat at the plate. Okay. Now, let's come over to my baseball diagram here. So, what I want to talk about tonight is basically just defensive positioning. And then if I don't go too long, I'll throw in some cutoffs there as well. But watching where you guys are going to line up on defense. Why is this not going red? Okay, whatever. Uh, let's see. Does this have shapes? I don't know if this has shapes. I don't think it does. Caden, I see you over here on the screen drawing. How do you do that? Teach me. There's got to be a tool down here somewhere.
You go to the pencil on the side
I see it.
and you click that.
Oh, there we go. Figured it out. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. So, since Caden showed me how to draw, we have our pitcher on the mound, catcher, first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, left field, center field, right field. Okay, so these are going to be our just, hey, y'all don't draw on the baseball field. Y'all mess it up. So these are going to be just our normal positioning, right? So the two that I want to talk to pretty much right off the bat is our outfielders and third baseman. And catchers, any of the catchers that are here, Coach Adam will tell you, he may have talked to you about it either doing catching camp or at a catcher's practice. But when you guys are back here, y'all are the quarterback, right? Y'all can see the whole field from being back here. So if you guys need to move someone over, don't be afraid to stand up and shout at somebody to move them over because you can see where their positioning is. Okay. But for our outfielders, if we have the base right here, we should line up even with these bases. If we're the left fielder and the right fielder. Okay? We
I can't
want to
hear anything.
take the balls in the gap. We want to take away the balls in the gap that are in the big part of the field right here. Okay? If they hit it down the line, let me undo this. They hit it down the line here and here, we tip our hat to the team. We can't cover every square inch of the outfield, right? So we want to play our odds when we're just playing straight up and we've not shifted at all. We want to play our odds to where we think they're going to hit the ball. Most hitters are going to be gap to gap. So if we have a good center fielder and our left fielder and our right fielder are lined up right where the bases are, then we can adjust from there. Now, you guys that play center field, I want you guys, just like the catchers, to be the leader of the outfielders because you're now looking in to the field. So you can see the whole field this way, looking into the hitter, while the catcher can see the whole field the opposite way, looking out from the hitter, looking into the field, right? So as a center fielder, and again, 9 years old, this is going to be different than it is at 14 years old or 17 years old, right? There's layers to the complexity of the things that we're going to learn. But as you guys are getting older, if you're any of these guys that are in the middle of the field, center, short, and second, y'all can see the catcher signs here at the plate. So each pitch, y'all should be moving based on not only the sign, but also the hitter's swing on if he's late or early, which I'll get into that in a minute. But as a center fielder, when you move, you want to think about how I drew these lines. There is a line or a string connected between all of you guys. Okay? So if I'm the center fielder and I move to my, let's say, to the left side of the field, and I move here, well, then my right fielder should move with me and move there, and left fielder moves with me and moves there. So now we're all connected, right? We move at the same time so we don't leave big holes in the field if I backspace too far. But if my center fielder moves here, my left fielder moves here, but my right fielder stays there, I leave that big hole open, right? Now, again, as you guys get older, there may be different reasons that we do different things, but for the most part, we're always going to shift our outfield at the same time. So, center fielders, your job is to communicate with the left fielder and right fielder that if you move over a step to your right or a step to your left, you should be communicating that same thing to them. Hey, move over one step to your left or move over one step to your right. That way, we're in equal positioning to be able to cover the gaps and the lines. Um, I guess I'll talk about this right now while I'm thinking about it. But any ball that's going to be in the air, since we're going to be playing here off the base, my outfielders, that's where we're playing. Your center fielder is going to have priority on any ball that's in the air. So if he calls it, and it's a ball that's right here in the gap, and these guys are both going to it, the right fielder and the center fielder, it's the center fielder's ball. Same thing in left center. If the center fielder calls it and the left fielder's going for it, it's the center fielder's ball. Okay, so we want to start learning our priority calls on our fly balls so that we know who has it, and we're not going to communicate past each other to where we both think that each other's going to catch it, and then it ends up dropping. Moving into the infield, I want to talk about third base because I see a lot of you third basemen. When I come watch y'all, if I don't know how good I could do this. I messed it up. But if this is the foul line, right? I see a lot of you guys that want to play like right here up on the foul line. Okay. Same thing of our outfielders here playing the gaps. Most of our balls from a hitter are going to be hit in that general area, right? Up the middle. Very rarely does a hitter hit one down the line, either down the third base line or the first base line. So, as a third baseman, I would prefer for you guys to play off the line this way and about 3 to 4 steps back. Like pretend this black line right here is the grass and this is the dirt. I would want you guys to play about 3 to 4 steps back off the grass. So if we're basically where I have this dot or this line, now we're in a position that any ball that is hit in, I'm going to change the color. Any ball that's going to be hit in this general area right here, like let's say like a chopper or a ball that's not hit very hard where the shortstop has to come in, he can't get to it. Well, now you have the range to go get that ball. Okay. And when you're moving to it, you want to think about your line being straight to first base or straight to center field. Okay. Those two angles that I just drew for you, out and in, that's going to be your angle to go in to get the ball. If you're going straight across, you're losing steps and you're not going to be in a very good position to throw the ball because your feet are moving away from the bag. Here, this is just a drop step where you turn and then get back going to first, which we can work on and talk about when I see you guys in person. And then this, you're already like basically at a run almost coming to get that ball. But as a third baseman, we want to think about any ball that's to our left, to second base. We're doing whatever we can to go get that ball. If the shortstop gets to it, he gets to it. But his job is to be behind us, essentially backing us up. Or I'm sorry, I said that backwards. If we get to it, we get to it. If we don't get to it, it's the shortstop's job to be behind us, backing us up so that if we do miss it, he's there and he's going to make the play in the hole. Now, we're going to have better odds at being able to make this play because we're already moving towards the bag versus he's moving this way away from the bag. The other thing, third base. If I have the base right here and say we have a runner on third, I do not want you guys holding the guy on like a first baseman and then bouncing off the bag and coming back to your spot right here. Okay? When we have a runner on third base and someone's hitting, he is not going to steal home. Okay? When we have a runner on first, we have an open base here in front of us. When we have a runner on second, we have an open base here in front of us at third. At home, we don't have an open base because we have a hitter here hitting, right? So 99.8% of the time, this runner is not going to steal home. When you guys get to be older, you're in high school, maybe it's a tie game in the last inning, maybe they run a squeeze play, and that's like the one time in your whole life that somebody steals home. But I can tell y'all, like in all of my years playing baseball, I've seen somebody try to steal home maybe like 3 times total, like do a squeeze or just straight up steal. It doesn't happen very often. You got to be prepared for it because you never know when you're going to be in that moment, but it doesn't happen all that often. So as third baseman, we want to play off the bag because again, we want to make sure that we have this range over here to be able to get to the ball that's going to be in the hole. Again, if the guy hits it down the line, he hits it down the line, we tip our hat to him. We can't defend the whole field same way I told the outfield. Okay? Now, the situation of the game can dictate whether our positioning changes or not. So, say it's late in the game, this is the tying run on second base. Maybe then we would want our third baseman, and I drew the first baseman like basically where the bag is, but pretend first base is going to move right here. In that situation, we move first base and third base to the line, and we move the outfielders, the corner outfielders maybe to the line, because we do want to avoid a ball down the line that he's going to be able to score and get home, right? But that's just specific situations where your coach will move you and tell you where they want you to play. But for our just general defense, this is where you guys need to line up. Um, Now, in saying that, don't feel like you guys have to rely on just your coach to move you. One thing that you guys can look for, and I wish I could show you guys like a visual of this, but I don't know that I can. So I'm gonna have to draw it out. So pretend this is the plate, right? The righty box is here, lefty box is there. We're at shortstop looking into home plate. So what you guys need to start doing whenever you're on defense is first off, like I said, if you're up the middle, shortstop, second, center field, you should be looking into the catcher to figure out what his signs are that he's given. What pitch is he throwing? From watching what pitch he's throwing, you can see where the catcher sets up, whether it's inside or outside, which if you're a corner guy, left field, right field, third base, first base, you're going to be able to see which direction the catcher sets up. So those two pieces of information alone, once you guys can get those on defense, they can tell you what to anticipate or where the ball may be being hit to. Okay? Because you know what pitch is coming and you know where the pitcher is trying to throw it based on watching your catcher set up. Now, they're not always going to be perfect, but you're basically playing odds or you're playing a guessing game. So once the hitter takes a swing, and I'm going to use this red line basically as the swing path. Okay, that's the swing path coming in the zone. So if his bat, let's say the ball's like right there, and his bat looks like it's still in this direction, whenever the ball's coming by, ball's going, and the bat looks like that, that's going to tell you that he's late. Okay, I'll do it opposite for a lefty. A lefty would be this way. That's going to tell you that they're late on the pitch. So if I'm a second baseman and there's a righty hitter up and I know he's late, I'm probably going to take one or two steps over towards first base because he might hit the ball right there, right? Now, let's go the opposite. Say the ball is a little bit more in front and his swing looks like that. The bat is in that angle, right? It's already crossing the plate by the time the ball gets there. Lefty, it would look like that. That's going to tell you he's early. So righty again, and I'm at second base. Now I'm probably going to move up the middle because he might roll his hands over and hit a ground ball in this area right there, right? Same thing on foul balls. If a righty hits a foul ball this way, then I probably need to scoot over to my right. If a righty hits a foul ball down the line, so he hits it down here, it almost knocks over the third base coach, then maybe take a one step towards the middle or towards gloves, throwing side, arm side, right? Because now he might hit the ball on that side of the field. So we always want to make sure that as a position player, we're getting those three pieces of information. What pitch is being thrown? I don't know what that means, so no. So with those three pieces of information that we're going to have, that's going to help us know, or y'all threw me off track with this AI companion thing. So those three pieces of information, knowing what pitch is coming, by looking into the signs and looking at where the pitch is going to be thrown by looking at the catcher and then reading the swing, reading the bat path. Once you're able to start doing that, if you guys have heard of the saying or the comment, a good first step, that's where your good first step comes from because we want to be anticipating the pitch. So by taking those pieces of information I just gave you, if we knew that the pitcher is throwing a fastball inside and the guy's early because he's been fouling it off the third baseline, well, then as a shortstop, when I'm taking my creep, right, we're getting ready on defense, we're taking a creep. When I do that, as the pitcher throws the ball and it's getting into the hitter zone, I can start taking a step over to my glove side because I'm anticipating, I'm expecting that if this guy takes a swing, he's going to hit it right there. Same thing on if he's late. If I know he's late and he's fouling it off over here, my pitcher throws another fastball, then I can anticipate that the ball is going to be hit up the middle. But once you guys can learn to basically start trying to almost guess, maybe would be the best way to explain it, but like you're already moving one direction, either to your left or to your right, as the pitcher's throwing the ball, and that is your anticipation of watching the swing come through the zone where the hitter is going to hit it. Same thing with catchers, guys. When y'all are calling pitches, if you throw a fastball and a right-handed hitter hits it foul down the third baseline, don't then throw a curveball to him because now you just slowed the ball down for him. Throw him another fastball, right? He's showing you that he's early. Um, Same thing with a guy being late. Or I said that backwards. We in that situation we do want to throw him a curveball because he is early. He's not sitting back on the fastball. When he's late, if I throw a fastball and I blow that fastball by him and he hits it this way, now I don't want to throw the curveball because I'm slowing it up for him, right? He was just late on something moving fast, and now I throw him something that's loopy that he can now time up and he can square it up. So if he's late hitting it this way, I want to throw another fastball. So that's one thing too that you guys as catchers, not only are you looking out into the field and seeing where everyone's playing, but you're also reading these hitters' swings as they're taking the swing, and that's going into your pitch calling as far as what pitches you need to call. Don't get in the habit of just calling a curveball because we have one strike, right? If you have the nine hitter of the lineup coming up and he's already hit two times, and the first two times he has not been able to catch up to a fastball and y'all have blown it by him, then you might as well just keep throwing fastballs, right? Like don't try to change anything or overthink something or try to be too perfect. When you guys can start learning these things, and what I mean by that is thinking through them, because you do have to think in baseball, right? Like you don't want to go out there and think about your mechanics, but you got to think of strategy and where the ball is going to go or what situation can happen. The mechanics you don't want to think about because that's what we have practice for. When a ball is hit to you, you go and you naturally try to field the ball. If you're hitting, then you try to naturally swing the bat and put a good swing on the ball. We worry about mechanics in the cage, but you still got to think about situations and think about, okay, if there's a guy on second base and I'm the first baseman, ball hit the center field, what do I have to do? He's going to get here and be the cutoff because this guy is trying to score, right? So those are the things that we've got to think about whenever we're on the baseball field. The last thing that I'm going to cover because running out of time, uh, and only because I see this a lot, but when we have a runner on first base, less than 2 outs, okay, so we're in a double play situation. Where's the eraser? So we're in a double play situation. Between the middle and field. This is when now we don't want to stay in that straight up spot that we've been in, where we're just standing in one place up the middle. We want to creep, I say, 2 steps towards the middle and 3 steps in. So we're going to be about right there as middle infielders, right? Because what we're trying to do is we're going to give up these holes for us to turn two outs if a ball is hit either to us, short or second, or to third or first, right? We're giving up these holes. So we want to shift up the middle and condense how close we are to the base. And then also, if this guy steals, that's less steps for us to be able to get there. Okay. But we have to make sure that we're in double play depth. Double play depth is what it's called. You have your normal depth and then double play depth. Those are going to be your two fielding positions. When we're in double play depth, we're doing that to give up the hole so we can turn two. If we get to where we're too far away from the bag, now we're going to struggle to turn two because it's going to take us too long to get to second base. So now we're going to rush a throw to second or rush a throw to first, or the guy's just going to have more time to get down the line. If I'm shaded up the middle and the ball's hit right to shortstop and the second baseman's 2 or 3 steps from second, shortstop can get rid of that ball early. Second base is set up on the bag. He has time to catch it and make a good throw. So that's one thing that I see a lot when I come and watch you guys. And again, it's just about learning the game, right? This is why we're doing this. But I want you guys to get in the habit when you have a guy on first base and there's less than two outs, middle infielders, y'all gotta shade the middle. Don't worry about trying to protect this right here. We're not worried about that. We're giving it up with the hope that we can get those two outs right there. Okay? Um, Other than that, though, that's all I got because we're running out of time. It's already past 8:30, and I know you guys have school tomorrow. Let me come down into the chat. I see that Owen raised his hand. Owen, do you have a question? Okay, let's see what do we have over here. Okay, so what about if a pitcher is trying to pick off? I assume that you're talking about third base, right? So if we're going to try to pick off to third base, that's going to be something that is going to be a called pickoff play. It's not going to be so much of like we're going to have time to get there. Basically, when the pitcher lifts his knee up, lifts his leg up to go to the plate, then the third baseman would break over to the bag and be there for the pitcher then to make the throw. So you're playing your spot, pitcher lifts his knee up, he throws the ball over here, this guy moves to that spot to catch the ball. But you don't have to sit here on the bag like a first baseman and just wait for the pitcher to throw it to you. We, as a first baseman, we sit on the base over here because by us being on the base, that keeps this runner's lead really small, which then is going to make it take more steps for him to get to second base if he steals, right? If he's 1 to 2 steps closer to first base, then that gives us 1 to 2 steps more time to be able to throw him out. At third base, it's a little bit different because he can't steal home. So it doesn't really matter how big off the base he gets because even if this guy gets a base hit, he's gonna score no matter what. The only thing is if he gets a big secondary or big lead, now the catcher can backpick him. But we don't necessarily want to worry about the pitcher trying to hold him on because he can't go nowhere. So we want our third baseman to play his spot so that he doesn't have to sit here on the base and we lose all this fielding position over here. Okay? Let's see.
What I meant was when you were saying like you would get the like off of the base when you saw that he kept hitting over on that side. But what if there was a guy on third is what I meant.
Where are you playing? What position are you talking about?
I'd be at third hypothetically. There's a runner on third and I'm playing third position. But you're saying that like if I see he has a pattern of hitting it like I see he has a pattern of like hitting it but like right over here. You're saying that I would go more like right here. But then what if there's a runner on third and like
Okay, so Tice, you're like blocking my screen, dude. I don't even know what you're doing. Uh, okay, so you're saying you're playing here. Let me clear all this off. So, All right. So you're saying you're playing here, runner on third base, and he keeps hitting it down the line, right? Is that what you're saying, Colton?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay, so in that situation, yes, you would then shade over to the line 1 or 2 steps.
Oh.
Then I would go back to that spot after he lifts his leg. That way I know he's not picking him off.
Yes. Yes. So like that's once you guys can start noticing the pattern basically of where the hitter's hitting or what his timing is, from the place that you guys are starting off on defense, you then can move yourself, right? So if I'm starting here, that's just my like um default spot. Like it's just that's where I play, right? And then from there, if I see a lefty's up and he's hitting everything this way, I can scoot over that way 1 step because I'm not worried about him hitting it over here. And same thing like what you're asking. If it's a righty and he's hitting it down the line, well, then I can take a step this way to make sure I protect the foul line. So it's just that kind of goes back to what I was saying about anticipation. It's just anticipating where the ball is going to be hit to. There's no right or wrong answer because at the end of the day, we can't cover. Tice, what are you doing, man? I can't see anything on my screen because at the end of the day, we can't cover the whole field. We're not going to be able to cover the whole field. So we want to play where the odds say we're going to be in the best spot to have the ball hit right to us, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, let's start wrapping it up because I know you guys got school tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Make sure y'all get those quizzes done and get them to me next week, and I'll go over them and see how y'all do. All right.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Y'all have a good day at school tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
Adios.
Love you, Carson.
See you,
Sir.
Coach.
Bye,
Love you, Carson. See you, Coach.
What's Carson? Adios, yes, yes. Bruh. Coach Carson.